You got to put your hands on it, babe. That's how it works. Oh, spirit boards, talking boards, witch boards. On today's episode of the Channel for the Recently Deceased, we're talking about Ouija boards. What are they? What's the history of this seemingly innocent-looking game? And for heaven's sake, why did the living keep playing with it despite the risks? In the words of my former boss,
never trust the living.
I needed answers, so I headed to this place, the Mystic Museum, located in Burbank, California.
Hi, my name's Erick Wessel. I am the owner of the Mystic Museum. We're currently standing in the oddities portion where we have a lot of antiques. We also do immersive horror experiences in the back and also have a whole section called Camp Horror, which is full of all your horror merchandise. We kind of got our start with the oddities shop doing medical, taxidermy, Ouija boards, and that's what kind of gave us the idea to do the Ouija Museum. Is a lot of people came in to sell some off of their collection, and some of it was Ouija boards, and I fell in love with the art and the concept of it, and that's what created the collection, and I kept on going and going and going, and now I have a very large collection, and I didn't want to sell them, but I also wanted people to enjoy them as well, so I opened up the seance parlor with the collection in it. And through this door is our seance parlor, and this is where we keep our collection of Ouija boards.
So Eric, tell me about the history of this thing, because doesn't automatic rating go back to like 1100 AD? It's almost as old as I am, right?
Oh yeah, it even goes back date further. Some people think to Egyptian times, and where they used their alphabet or their word system in order to contact the afterlife.
So, but the actual Ouija or Ouija board as we know it, so that was created by Elijah Bond, is that right?
Yes.
In Baltimore?
In Baltimore, and then later on they actually moved the factory or built their factory in Salem. And so when you're a collector, you're kind of looking for the board bottom to say Salem, Massachusetts. That seems to be the most collectible one, because then you know it was built in the factory. Some of the way older boards, the hand-carved ones and the hand-built ones before the factory, will say Baltimore.
And some of these, one of your older boards say Baltimore on the back here.
So you'll have this one, and this is probably one of the original ones right here from that company that eventually became Parker Brothers, then eventually Hasbro took over. And so as you can see, this one is actually carved. You can feel it.
Yeah, look at that.
So this one says Baltimore. And also, this is what it makes this board a little unique. So they didn't really come in boxes. They came wrapped, and then everything you needed to know would be on the back, carved into it, rather than on a sheet of paper inside the board.
Yes, there are certain rules that you should all follow when using the board. Rule number 1, don't use it alone. It's best to use the board with other people. We're like bees in a pond, the four of us. I'm gonna have to move in with you kids for a while, get to be real pals, know what I'm saying?
Rule number 2, don't leave the planchette unattended. Some believe this is like leaving the door to the spirit world open.
Hey, thanks. Rule number 3, don't be on any substances, if you know what I mean. And for more on that, here's Zachariah the Witch.
So yeah, when you use the board, don't be messed up on anything. Don't be drinking. Don't say, oh, it's going to be fun, and just like, let's see what happens. No. It's because you are not opening doors. I don't think everybody has that ability, and I don't think it does that. I think it's more so, what are you pulling out of yourself that you're not maybe ready to hear yet? So just think about that. Like, it's a tool. It's only going to work the way that you use it or have intentions for it. And that's the best thing to say, because everybody's going to go about it differently.
Rule number 4, end the session properly. When you're done, move the planchette to sayonara.
Rule number 5, dispose of it properly. Reddit user RhubarbFlat5648 says, don't burn it. Wrap it in a natural fiber cloth or cotton or linen. Wrap the planchettes separately. Take them to a remote location and bury them separately. Put sea salt on them before refilling the holes with dirt. If you can find a churchyard or graveyard, that's better, but not necessary. Then say in a firm but respectful voice something along the lines of, buried apart, remain apart, both apart from me. Then say these words: I revoke all invitation, real or implied, past or present, I have made to any dark entities knowingly or inadvertently. You may not be near me. I say a prayer of thanks to God or whoever or however you perceive the source. Turn your back and walk away.
And number 6, never, I repeat, never feed the board after midnight. Oh wait, that's Mogwai's. Tell me about this bad boy back here.
So this board right here is a pretty fun one. I purchased it on Halloween night at the Magic Castle in Hollywood. This is made from the salvage wood of when the Magic Castle caught on fire in 2011. And one of the main things about Houdini said, if there was ever proof of ghost, he would make it known on Halloween night.
On Halloween night. Now, in this case here, this is what you call your Kate Blanchetts, right?
Yeah, these are all the planchettes, the boards. Some of them will be on the walls and featured around here. That I didn't want to have the actual planchettes on the boards. I don't want anyone to accidentally open up any portals. And some of them are predate the boards to where they release the planchettes only, which would be this middle one right here, and that's the box it came in. And they did start off as planchettes before there was a planchette with a board. And this would be an example of what an early automatic writing planchette looked like.
Now, you've got quite a collection here, one of the largest in the country, is that right?
We have one of the largest, yes.
And this isn't even all of them. You have more down here?
Yeah, so this whole thing is filled and stacked. I would say we have probably over 250 Ouija board items, not just the board, but original sheet music, ephemera. We even have a lot of things that I call adjacent, which is like these teaching devices that were also used for contacting. But it was like a parlor game. Some thought it was a parlor trick. But obviously the spirit board was made way farther than 1894. And it was just mass produced for home use in 1894 and then on, of course.
Now, this is kind of a spooky place. You ever had anything weird, kind of unusual thing happen to you here? You know, like something about this board right here.
Oh yeah, so that board was connected to a witch spirit that we had in the exhibit. It was a papier-mâché witch, and basically it said what was spelled out while we were playing it was that it was the witch in the corner that we're talking to, and it was a nice spirit that was talking to us. But it is kind of funny because this one does have an image of a witch on it.
We just heard a noise back here. This place is apparently haunted.
We've been hearing noises all night.
And it's true you have ghost investigations here too, right?
Yes, and it's apparent that we're raising some spirits. That's crazy.
Ouija board club, we went to my friend's house, and her mom just got married to this new guy, and it was her stepdad. And we were in her mom's room playing the Ouija board, and the Ouija board spells out the stepdad's name, and then starts saying that like he's bad, they don't like him, whatever. And she was asking questions, my friend, about him, and then all of a sudden the board says, "He's here, goodbye," and the stepdad comes into the house and comes into the room. And we could not explain that. Like, it was such a wild experience. He's here, and then that was it? What?
Several years ago, I was a part of a investigation and seance at the David Oman house. This is the house that is like 350 feet away from the Sharon Tate house where the infamous Sharon Tate murders occurred off of Cielo Drive. So we were doing a seance on the anniversary of the Sharon Tate murders, and there was this one point where we were asking a question about one of the victims, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, because it was a candlelit seance, one of the candles fell forward, and that was unexplainable. No one was kicking the table, no one was moving around. We were all like hands held, asking questions, and then all of a sudden, this candle fell forward. There's no rhyme or reason for it, and no, a demon did not follow me home that night, but it was definitely unexplainable.
Because let's face it, folks, the last thing you need is a demon running around your house like Reagan from The Exorcist. And hey, I've seen the movie about 167 times, and it keeps getting funnier every single time I see it, but not too funny when it's happening to you. Well, that's just about all the time we have for today. I hope you've learned a little something about the Ouija board. I want to thank Erick and the Mystic Museum for having me. And if you like content like this, be sure to like and subscribe. And don't forget, kids, if you want to contact me, you don't need a Ouija board like this. You just have to say my name 3 times. Say it once, say it twice, 3 times the charm. All right, bye-bye. B E E T. Oh, come on, this is taking too long. Just say it. Say it.